dig it? Can you dig it?
Ladies, gentlemen, friends, foes, lurkers, regulars, GMO people, organic people.
Boiler room. Inbound. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Boiler Room. I'm your host. My call sign is Hesher. I'm Brian McLean, broadcasting live out of Central Texas for Alternate Current Radio. As we bump into this live Boiler Room stream, it is the 22nd of May, 2025. Hope everybody's year is progressing nicely, or at least favorably. It's wonderful to be back with you live here. We were live last week, and hey, we're at it again. And you can visit us on the web, alternatecurrentradio.com. That's our website. That is your portal into all things Boiler Room and Alternate Current Radio. So we're going to probably just jump right into it tonight. Got a bit of a late start, and I got a couple folks in here that need to get up early in the morning for their day jobs. So we're going to get right to it and welcome Mystical Pharaoh to the Boiler Room tonight. Mystical Pharaoh, what's up, dude? Welcome to the Boiler Room.
Hey, man. How are you doing? Missed you guys last week.
Yeah, we missed you too. I probably started too late for you last week, but we're really glad you're here this week, buddy.
Me too. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And next up, we're going to bring the Ruckus into the room here. We got the Ruckus among us. Ruckus, what's up, man? Welcome to the Boiler Room.
Howdy. I had to find my mute button. I was like, I know it's here somewhere.
I saw you contorting in the background, and I was trying to draw it out until I figured you were right in the sweet spot.
Well, okay, so I've got like a physical device that I can interact with to hit the mute button on it, my little thing. But I usually just use my on-screen interface, and I was considering trying to reach over everything to get to the button, and I decided to just close some tabs and do it the old-fashioned way. I was just trying to beat the clock, man, because I know the pressure's on. And this is why you guys pay the big bucks. So, you know, but, we love you guys. Sorry we're a little late. So let me shut the F up and get on with it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Welcome to the Boiler Room, Ruckus. And we've got the one and only, the very lovely Spore joining us tonight. Spore, go ahead and unmute once you get in there and say hello. It's been a minute since we've had you. It's wonderful to have you back with us, Spore.
Yeah, it's so good to be back. I've missed you all, everyone. I've missed being around, and I apologize for my absence. I have just been super busy working and having to go to sleep early. And as I was just telling Infidel on the back line, kind of sick of the news. Sadly, it's weird to get worn out of that, but I guess we all need a break sometime.
Understandable, Spore. Absolutely. And tonight, you are here to do, of course, a bit of ice breaking, but tonight you have a story from the streets, right? You got a story from the streets right here in Central Texas.
Yeah, Hesh and I took quite a bit of time looking through Icebreaker suggestions and searching our own and things, and I don't know, nothing gave me a spark. There's all sorts of weird shit out there, but it's not like as weird as it would have been if we'd seen it 10 years ago. But something weird did happen to Hesher and I this week. We ran into a friend in town who had recently told us that he was really interested in buying a very high-end Tesla. And he was like, before you guys go anywhere, I'm just going to take you for a quick spin. And I'm like, fuck, because I don't personally like being in other people's cars I mean, I just don't like having anybody drive me other than Hesher or myself, frankly. That's just, I'm jaded against being a passenger in
You're a
general.
nervous passenger.
I'm a very nervous passenger, and Hesher knows very well. I constantly like do a pretend like slam on the brakes, like things like that. Anyways, but I felt obligated because I knew this was really important to our friend. So I reluctantly went and entered the vehicle, and we went maybe, I don't know, how sure if you think it was like maybe 1 or 2 miles altogether. But there was a certain stretch where he was like, he told Hesher to look to the right for cops. And then all of a sudden we went 0 to 90 in 3 seconds, literally.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it was horrifying. It was like, I mean, I had to close my eyes, and my hands were sweating, and I just wanted to be on solid ground again. It was a beautiful car, though. I will say it was the interior. It was like a combination leather of like white and black, and the dashboard was amazing. And there was like these video cameras, like when he was gonna go right, like he turned on his signal. He had like a full, like, oh my gosh, the video camera on his dashboard of what was on the right of his car was amazing. And then when we got back to land, I asked him, like, I don't remember exactly what I asked him. Oh, I know what it was. I said, is it legal for, like, because he was telling us like it can be
Well,
totally
hold
autonomous,
on,
right?
sport. Hold on. Before you get to this part of
Okay.
the tale here, I would like to just take a moment and show people what you were traveling in. This, because I personally, as if you're if you listen to this show often or have listened to me on TNT or the Pulse and whatnot, you'll know I'm not an aficionado of electric cars. I generally am disinterested in them, largely due to uh, the fact that I am interested in different kinds of cars, all which use gas, but also because I'm someone who, like many of you out there, are in opposition to Green New Deals and man made carbon scams and all that good stuff that we all know well and good. So I've just never really been interested enough to go to the website and check them out until I heard recently that due to the tariffs and all this other stuff that in China they wouldn't be able to sell a certain version of the car, and it's like the top end version. So this is it. It's on the screen here. It's the Model S, and the stats for it there. You'll notice if you're looking at the screen that it's 1.99 seconds, 0 to 60 miles per hour, and top speed 200 miles per hour, and peak horsepower 1,020. So I had never really looked at the stats on any of these suckers, and that's for the what they call the plaid version of this car. And this is what it looks like on the inside. It's just very modern and no gauges or any of the stuff that you're used to. Just a computer in the middle and a completely digital dashboard. And that pretty much looks like the one that Spore and I were in right there. We're not affiliated with Tesla. This isn't a Tesla commercial, but it is an interesting story. So the plaid edition of this sucker is a tri motor. So you can see right there in the front, sort of where the motors are in this thing. So when you light up plaid, you can see an extra motor appears in this front bay right around there. So this thing is fast, and that's what it looks like. And I just wanted to throw that in there for our viewers and listeners, sports, so they would have a little more context. But our buddy that took us for this Mr. Toad's Wild Ride told us a really funny story afterwards. Oh, and by the way, shout out to him for the high volume, high decibel test of the stereo system with Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas. That was a pretty dope add on there. Go ahead, Sport.
Yeah, so when we came back to solid land, I had a moment alone with Hesher, and I was like, so okay, because this guy told us that this car, like, I mean, before he even bought it, no, it was right after he bought it. We hadn't seen it yet. He said that, like, he had buttons that would make it go from like a parking garage a block away and come and pick him up, and
Mhm.
like how autonomous it was, and so, like, when I had a moment with Hesher after the ride, I was like, so, like, can he get like wasted and then just go in the car and like have it drive him wherever he wants? And is that legal? And so Hesher asked him, and he was like, I don't know.
I think it depends where you're sitting. If you're sitting in the back seat and no access to the driver's seat, I
Oh,
think
really?
it's
Okay.
fine.
And I still haven't looked it up. Yeah.
I
So
mean,
he
Musk's dream is to take that and do a new version of Uber where you can take your Tesla, make it automatically drive people, right? You're just
mhm,
renting your Tesla fleet to them.
right.
So yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's
But
okay.
you got to pay $99 a month for the self-driving feature. This was something I learned today and was
Yeah.
discussing about it in our Discord, and it opened up a conversation into this whole service as software as a service thing
Oh yeah.
that is like everywhere. It's infected everything. But yeah,
It's
apparently you have to
called
pay for that
SaaS,
privilege.
dude.
Yeah. So you can get nice and sauced as long as you pay for the SaaS to be self-driven. Your stupid drunk ass.
Yeah.
So when I asked this guy about that, he goes, I don't know, but I have a friend that has a Tesla truck, and they were all
Cybertruck.
hanging out one night, and the friend had gotten completely wasted, like just obviously drunk, and then the friend was like, I gotta go home. And everybody was like, well, you can't drive. And he's like, that's okay, let me show you something. And he brings him to his Tesla truck, and he opens the door and puts the seat all the way back and lays down, and he goes, I'll be home in 30 minutes. And apparently that works for him. He goes, I'll get a nice nap on my way home, and it'll be a good break between here and there. So,
Or you forgot maybe the best part.
oh, did I?
Yeah, because you name these cars, like you can give your car a name so it
Oh,
responds to
that's
you.
right. Wait, okay. So our friend's car is like a Spanish word for the word plaid, and his car's name is bitch. So he gets in the car, lays down, and
No,
he
his
goes,
his friend's
bitch.
car that you're talking about with the
Yeah,
Cybertruck.
yeah, it's that's
Okay, you weren't.
his friend's car. He called it bitch, and he goes, and when he laid down in the truck, he goes, bitch, take me home. And then he drove off.
I wish I could have seen that.
Sorry, I
But
didn't
I'm
mean to.
guessing it's different in different states. But I don't right. I mean, it's got to be how the cops respond to that. It's got to be different in different states and in different counties, probably here in Texas too. But I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Not something I need to worry about.
Yeah, I mean it's so number one. I mean, it's the cool thing about electrical cars. Yeah, instant power, right? You put your feet on the pedal and just goes.
Dude, I had no
Uh,
idea. I had no idea they'd push those kind of G forces.
Oh no, yeah, they are. That's the best piece about it, actually. However, number one, the big beautiful bill passed today, and Trump removed all the. Basically, they removed all the electrical vehicle incentives. So I will see how much all those prices actually jump and who's going to buy them now, which is
Yeah.
interesting. But also, it's a horrible asset to own because their value compared to traditional car depreciates so much, right? And they have a certain lifetime on those batteries, right? And it's not something that you can take into your garage and start, tinkering with it,
No.
right?
Yeah, so like I have a family member that bought one maybe 4 months ago. How long ago? What do you think that was?
It was before Elon became like the official enemy of people on the
Okay,
extreme
so like
left.
five or six.
Yeah.
I mean, somewhere in there.
Like
Before the election.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
like somewhere between the election and inauguration, pretty much. Before
Yeah.
Doge was created.
4, 5, 6 months ago, somewhere in
Mhm.
there, and she didn't like it for several reasons, and like one of the ones was because she would visit her friends like that lived 2 hours away, and she would have to go out to the Bay Area and sit there at a charging station for almost an hour and wonder if she was going to be able to get home. And so she didn't keep it. She ended up selling it, and it was $6,000 less in that short amount of time, which was probably about
Yeah.
3 or 4 months.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, they have those superchargers now, which is like 10 minutes can get you going, but you don't have those everywhere. There's just only certain places. But again, you
that
have a
like a
storm or something powers out, you're screwed, right? Like, good luck.
Is that like a next to like a gas station or something like that?
No,
Those
they have like
superchargers?
Tesla superchargers and some like locations where you have this really fast chargers, but it's not everywhere.
They got them at Bucky's now. I hear you can.
There you go,
They got a
Bucky's.
whole bunch at Bucky's. They got a bank of them at Bucky's.
Yeah, they're gonna open it will be the new Bucky's in Greenland will be full of electric superchargers.
Bucky's Greenland. Yeah, so that sucker depreciated like $6,000 in 6 months, but I don't know. That seems extreme to me. I think that might be just because of sort of like the timing of it all. Like I feel like that'll even out a little bit, but they still depreciate a lot and fast. And they also kind of demand that you I don't know, do they? I'm gonna make a statement. Tell me if maybe I'm wrong. It seems like they, at least at this point, they demand that you give up the whole like pollution argument, right? Because all those batteries go where exactly? And it seems like you give up the slavery argument because all that lithium comes from where exactly? Like we all know at this point, right? Or am I overestimating people's ability to know where that stuff all comes from and goes? Because I think
Yeah,
we
don't ask
know,
those questions.
right? I mean, I don't know. They're not really like advanced questions, are they? There's video of just giant dirt pits and people ages like 7 to 65 in there and like loincloths and like flip-flops made of tires and ropes and stuff like in there and hammers, knocking out rocks and shit. And then it's like where do all these batteries go once they're not used anymore? I think we know they, I don't know. Maybe what do you think?
I mean, I think it's they faced some like PR issues, and I think they changed the supply chain to buy it. Maybe if I remember correctly, they start buying secondhand from China, and then China go enslave the people in Africa, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So this way,
Dude,
you're
that's
not
also
just
why we
direct.
need Greenland and Ukraine, right? Like we need Greenland and Ukraine so we can like set up, new slave robots to do that in places where it's rich instead of like slave people. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting though what you mentioned about being enemy of the left. In a span of 5 months, we're able to switch like conservative to be supportive of electrical vehicles and liberals to hate like electrical vehicles, which is incredible, right? Incredible
Yeah.
transformation in a short period of time.
Dude, the way that like the speed at which we can get identity politic groups of
Crazy.
mainstream media consumers and social media consumers who aren't prepared, for the level of marketing that we're dealing with and grift. Like the way that we can get that they can get those types of people to flip and flop and just change their worldview all the time is really impressive. I gotta say, it's quite impressive to behold.
It's quite impressive to see how gullible people are and how easy they fall, as you said, in identity politics, and they don't just there is no principles anymore.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, hey, look, there's Bays Lit.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, guys. When you were saying that you got into a Tesla, I thought, and that something weird happened, and I thought you were gonna say somebody crazy lefty came and vandalized the car while you were still in it, or some shit. They set it on fire. It exploded. I really didn't know what to expect from that story. So, and I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that everybody was okay, including the bitch.
Yeah, man. We got to experience a full high G launch. Baselit Analyzer, you're here just in time.
You missed my Katy Perry story, dude.
Oh no. What happened? You were there when she ascended?
No,
Well,
I ascended.
Spore is now an astronaut. Spore is actually she's a race car driver or an astronaut.
She has achieved liftoff.
Yes.
You achieved theta clear.
Dude, my face
Charlie
was
Manson's
pulled back. It was like Katy Perry. I don't know how her face stayed normal while she was up in space, but like my
Because she wasn't in
face
space.
flew back behind my ears.
Yeah, she was not.
Spore, you experienced way more G forces than Katy Perry just in that Tesla S Series Plaid. I'm guessing because that launch looked fake.
Well, I was not holding up a flower. I will tell you that much. There was no flower.
Plus, I'm guessing you weren't whacked out of your mind on like 25 doses of DMT mixed with some LSD, mixed with God only knows adrenochrome, probably.
I probably would have been in a better headspace if that was my drug intake. But no, I was 100% sober.
So, Baze, just to catch you up, Spore and I got to go on a wild ride in a Tesla S Series Plaid that goes 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, and our homeboy in town crushed it from like a 5 mile an hour roll. Like we were literally rolled past the police department, and he's like, "Are there any cops over there?" I'm like, "No," and he just floored it. And I have never felt a G force like that in a car, and I'm not someone who's unfamiliar with big engines and putting the foot on the floor fast. So that's all you missed. Spore's a nervous driver, and I am someone always looking to increase their land speed
Nervous
record.
passenger.
Yeah, nervous passenger. Sorry. Yeah. So that was our icebreaker tonight, man. And part of the reason we had to tell a personal story was because the icebreaker pool was just it's getting a little ridiculous. We couldn't even find anything, so we went with a personal story.
When you got to top speed, did you sing Bon Appetite like Katy Perry did at the top of her space mission?
There was no singing for me. There was just holding back a barf.
Remember they said that she was singing. She started singing when they got into space.
Yeah,
no, I didn't realize that. Really?
Yeah.
No,
it's so ridiculous. Like that's. I mean,
well, in the interview, she said, "This is a song I wrote, and it's a wonderful world." Louis Armstrong. Is it Louis Armstrong?
I don't know, but that's the song.
Yeah,
yeah.
No,
she said, "This
I think that's original."
Yeah, she said, "I sang a song that I wrote, and it's about this mission. And I wrote it right beforehand, and that was the song."
So many like golden clips from that whole experience. I want to thank Jeff Bezos.
I guess that could have been a good icebreaker. I feel like I'm lacked now.
Well, yeah, that is our icebreaker. Spore is now a race car driver and or an astronaut.
So the videos are true. Like, it really does get up to that speed,
dude.
It was insane. I have never experienced anything like that in my entire life, and I never want to do it again.
They went plaid, apparently, literally.
I want to know from maybe someone out there knows. I'll have to ask my friend next time we see him. But like, is that why they called it that? Is it a Spaceballs reference? Because that would be pretty cool.
I think the Spaceball reference was to a speed reference.
No, I know.
I
know that like the back of my hand. I'm just saying. I want to know if the company or Elon himself officially picked that as the designation for that version of that car because of that. Like if it's an homage to that.
They are a bunch of nerds, so possibly.
Yeah, I imagine it's highly likely.
Plus, Mel. Never mind. I'm not going to go there.
Well,
all right.
You had to bleach the creeps and the weeps.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, let's see here.
I don't want our
debate.
radar to get jammed.
Yeah, really. Strawberry. I believe it was strawberry. So, Beige, shout out to Mella's Diner, and you guys. I watched you guys on Mella's channel the other night, so that was really fun. Watch, it was cool, and appreciated all seeing all that art and learning about it and stuff. It was fun.
Yeah, thanks, bud. Appreciate that. Yeah, shouts out to Melaforta over there. She's on YouTube at Melaforta. One of our friends. She's often here, and she had a couple of, a bunch of my friends on there too. And we hope that this will build a bit, and go over there if you want to see some, deep dives into Renaissance and medieval and Romantic painting and art. And it was kind of impromptu, and it was some good takes from the panel. So that was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I was checking that out today. Spore watched a bit of it while she was working, and I watched the whole thing, man. It was a great stream, cool roundtable. So, shout out to all you guys.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. So we'll call Icebreaker complete, and let's see. Let me just see what everybody thought was a big deal this week. Mystical Pharaoh, what about you, man? What I know you've spent some time detoxing from the news a little bit, but man, some crazy stuff going on nonetheless in the last few days. Anything big on your radar as we jump into this this week's boiler room?
I heard there was a shooting today.
Oh yeah, DC, right? At the
yeah,
2 members of the Israeli embassy were shot by a shooter. That's what I heard in the news? I'll tell you right now,
Palestinian.
I only have some of the details on this, and it already reeks of something we should be wary of, psyop wise, potentially, or just weird radicalization wise. But what have you taken away from this so far?
I really did not dig deep into it, but as you said, like just looking at the initial reports about the identity of the guy and how the circumstances of how we left and so on, and who got shot and who did not. I'm sensing a psyop, especially how they are labeling it this by like a pro-Palestinian shooting, like Israelis, like.
Yeah,
I mean, it's very suspicious too,
So this the accused shooter is one Elias Rodriguez, I believe. And some are reporting that person was a member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation, the PSL. I don't know if that's been verified yet or not. So pretty much everything I'm going to say about this particular case is in that category because, frankly, I'm not going to waste a bunch of time on this. It smells bad enough that I'm not going to put it through the full cycle, through the full taxonomy of daily shooter. Is it real? Is it not? But I have flagged up a few things about it. So there's that. What else was there?
I also learned that Epstein killed himself.
Oh yeah. Hold on. I got a clip to go with that one.
Okay.
But some are saying on X the shooter in the Washington attack, which killed 2 Israeli embassy staff, did not flee the scene, but carried out the act, asked someone to call the police, confessed, and waited calmly without resistance. That's weird.
Well, right? the story became, it was another one of these ones where the story became what he was, the slogans he was shouting afterwards.
Of course, yeah.
On camera rather than the event itself.
And we're seeing.
Do you know what slogan that was?
Yeah, it was.
Well, it was Free Palestine, wasn't it? Free Palestine.
Oh, the way they were acting, I thought they were saying we need to kill a bunch of people and do dirty, horrible things. That's all they said was Free Palestine, but now that's just as dangerous as actually causing the violence.
Yeah, and there's also people noting that, and again, I haven't verified any of this stuff. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing here. Someone's saying the man, I think it's referring to one of the victims. The man is German, or maybe they're referring to Rodriguez. I'm not sure. The man is German Israeli dual citizen, a Christian who served in IDF. Yes, really. Oh, they're talking about the victims. So they're saying the man is a German-Israeli dual citizen, a Christian who served in the IDF, and the woman is an American who is maybe Jewish who has family in Israel, perhaps. Let me put Ruckus's screen on the larger view there.
I heard they were both diplomats, and I think they were engaged.
Yeah, I heard they're
They're
a
in their
couple.
20s.
Yep. And then there are people. Yep, there you go. There they are right there.
I think
That's a
Bibi.
terrible shame, and we mourn their loss. But we do the
Absolutely.
same
Yeah,
for,
no, this
for anybody, regardless of who they are, their bloodline. But yeah, people seem to be acting differently about this particular crime rather than when the shoe's on the other foot, as it were. But we've seen this 100 times over, usually divided across black and white. Yes?
sure.
Nothing new.
Whatever the hashtag, latest polarization thing is, yeah, absolutely. Because you can see like well, for example, here's a X post by someone on the opposite side. It says, if you're calling the murder of 2 innocent Jews in Washington, D.C. by a radical leftist screaming free Palestine a false flag orchestrated by Israel to drag us into war with Iran, I have one thing to say. And then he goes on to say, F you, just, and that seems to be this is the reason why I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time studying this one. It's like this is clearly, be it organic or not, doesn't matter at this point, is used politically in a certain way. And that way is to try to politicize over right and left the anti-war sentiment, the anti-genocide sentiment. And I'm sorry, but mass media cartel, you're a little bit late for that. Like, I think we know by now that this is not a right left thing. I hope.
I
Also,
think Bibi had a statement immediately also. And then the local powers that be, I think, came out with a statement saying, that this will not be tolerated, specifically the anti-Semitism thing will specifically not be tolerated in this area, which is an interesting, I mean, that's to be expected, but it's an interesting tag on to the fact that these two people were just smoked in public in broad daylight with a, on its surface, at the very least on its surface, a political motivation. I mean, it's right there. It's obvious. So the tweets about, anybody calling, is this a fake flag thing? I mean, these people not know that by now that anything like this is we're immediately going to, be suspicious of anything that happens like this at all. Because the precedent is that the guy with all the information is standing on a street corner in the middle of the night and, just happened to get robbed instead of a targeted thing years ago. And then every time it's like that. So it muddies the waters because if it is a fake flag thing, if that does occur, and it does, then how our discernment goes out the window in a lot of these because then it starts to seem like every single one of them is. Does that make sense?
yeah, I mean that's the ultimate essence of black pilling, and like that's sort of where the black pill, comes into the benefit of the cultural engineers. It just everything is so muddied, and everybody's somewhere on this spectrum of red to purple to black. If you want to make it real simple, like what the psych, what the matrix pill color is, leading you to the point of like, and a lot of it's sad too because there's this whole cycle. It's like you take the, sorry to metaphor this up, but you take the red pill, the ultimate red pill, whatever, and you realize, oh, this isn't just one thing. This is something you have to keep doing and doing and doing. And in doing so, you find out more and more horror as you go along, and a darker past and potentially a darker future and darker alleyways into the present, and you just get to that point of full black pill or people on a mix. But the sad thing is, like, you come at it from a position of like wanting things to be better, and then by the time you're at the end of the spectrum, you've returned to the nihilism that you probably were attracted to when you were a teenager and in your 20s. You know, it's just like you can't care anymore. Or you just get off the train altogether and hope for the best. That seems to be what a lot of people are doing lately.
Well, there was also another one that happened not far away from there, outside of CIA headquarters, I think today. It wasn't fatal.
Yeah.
In McLean, Northern Virginia. Was this a competitor?
Yeah, I know. Good question.
Were they a podcaster or a podcast guest? Because, you know, the odds are pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really. What else? Just kind of going through some of the bookmarks I grabbed today on the Twitter, on the X. Manifesto. See, there you go. Sharing note, I'm sharing this not to sensationalize the violence, but to strongly denounce and disavow, but to help the public gain an understanding of the motive behind what transpired. And then there's this whole long manifesto thing, which frankly, I'm not going to even bother reading right now. You can check it out yourself. I'll put these bookmarks on the show page, but
did you see this? Check out this interesting, the way the Daily Mail reported it. I think this is the Daily Mail. Look at this freaking headline. Oh, it's not showing it. Why is it not showing it? It's not showing it. All right. Well, it says on the headline, what does it say? Let me transition here. It's not working. All right. Well, the headline is ridiculous. Chilling. They described it a chilling moment. There it is. The chilling moment when this guy said free Palestine.
Yeah.
That's
chilling.
Interesting way to report that, Daily Mail. Strange.
Mm-hmm. A lot of that. And just a lot of the whole, like I went into, you know, the most pissed off comments, like the most extreme and widely retweeted comments on both sides of this you know, issue, if you will, or as many sides of this issue as I could find. And it is just a freaking melee in there. It's crazy. Like the spectrum of comments on both sides are shocking. Like, it's shocking. Like, I can't believe I'm seeing this on X or on social media. Like, there's no way this, especially in the wake of, you know, Ye. And isn't it funny how this all kind of started and ended with Ye? You know, it started with Ye and the net and the Yahoo drink, and you know, Nick and all those guys, and here we are with now Ye's got performance artists showing up around Diddy's star on Hollywood singing the the HH song that he just dropped. I mean, it's, what the hell is going on, you guys? And then you look into the comments, you know, this event happens. The comments on X are just wild, absolutely wild. Like, I don't even want to click into them. You know, I'm on YouTube tonight. I don't know, like, how far YouTube's willing to go with some of these comments. I mean, X is like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know if you guys have dug down into some of these comments on here under some of these things, but it is an absolute melee, and people, I don't even know how to describe it.
Didn't Kanye have a recent tweet like this afternoon or this morning about I'm done with this whole thing? They might check his Twitter today.
I have no idea. I haven't looked.
I don't know if that's accurate, if anybody's seen that, but I think he tweeted out, I'm done with the anti-S word, I guess, in the wake of all this stuff happening. But then the like you were saying, the performance art, singing the song. By the way, his song, you know, She Wanna Hop in the Rari, the World War III song, went, I think, #1 global viral on Spotify this week.
Really?
Yeah, which is interesting because, you know, it's banned everywhere. So it's not on Apple Music here. It's basically nowhere except, I think, Spotify. And
I was saying, like, there was a lot of videos of like kids like jamming to HH song.
Yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, is it on YouTube? I haven't even looked. I assume it's not on YouTube. Like, where are people watching it?
No.
It's not here officially. It's still on Instagram, you know, with clips and stuff. And I think it's officially up on Spotify. The World War III song is on Apple Music, or it was, under Ye. Not under Kanye West. He just has 2 songs, I think, listed under that name, but
Right.
everywhere else it's been taken down. I also heard, I don't know if this is true, but that the proceeds from sales of the song on Spotify are going to be donated to, let's say, a specific center / museum in DC. The
Oh, really?
HCOS. I think. I don't know if that was satire or not.
Interesting. Yeah, I wonder. All right, we'll have to see if we can verify
good.
that. That would be interesting to know. All right, let's see. So yeah, this whole thing is just crazy. And then this is funny too. I thought this was interesting that this account brought this video up because people are whining and crying, talking about, oh, it's a false flag if this, and it's not a false flag if that. Like, people are getting offended that it's being bandied around. And someone brought up this 60 Minutes clip that came out, I guess, just 6 months ago here. See if I'm sharing the right tab here. Yeah.
How did you convince Hezbollah to buy this?
Well, obviously, they didn't know that they were buying it from Israel.
Who did they buy it from, or think they were buying it from?
We have an incredible array of possibilities of creating foreign companies that have no way being traced back to Israel, shell companies over shell companies who affect the supply chain to our favor. We create a pretend world. We are a global production company. We write the screenplay. We're the directors. We're the producers.
I watched that entire thing. I'm not sure if that has been messed with or not. I'm gonna have to go back and check the original out. But very interesting stuff going on in those threads in the wake of all this crazy stuff. And I don't know, man. My position is one of skeptical, and that's pretty much where I'm going to leave that one right now.
They say all the world's a stage, don't they?
Yeah, right. Same with Bongino and Cash. Oh my gosh, these guys going back on what they said about Epstein and stuff. Oh, this has been juicy this week, the Epstein stuff. Did you notice any of that, Mystical Pharaoh? You kind of brought it up a minute ago.
I did. I've seen that BS interview with Fox. It just I can't believe they're just sitting there with a straight face and they're saying, "Oh no, I'm pretty sure that he was so confident saying that," and I just having hard time see how he can come and make that claim and be that confident, like,
right?
I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it.
Yeah,
you can see the clip. Let's play it because his confidence of the response was really interesting, right?
I've got a couple clips here. I'm lining them out right now. Let's see here.
Didn't he say? I thought I saw something on my X feed today about how he's saying they got to me, guys. He's trying to walk it back or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't caught that.
It's probably.
I mean, shit, people found all those old clips of him like, yeah, there's something fishy with this Epstein thing. And now he's like, oh, yeah, no, he killed himself, whatever.
Yeah, I've got that one. Let me throw some clips your way. I'm not sure if I've got them in the right order I was hoping for. I had to kind of rebuild my tabs here. But all right. So first, Owen Schroyer put this on his X. Cash Patel and Dan Bongino tell America that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I know it's hard work.
Okay.
Wait, I didn't know Patel was an ex-con. That's interesting. Sorry.
All right, let's see.
Do you have any clips from the Tucker one?
I don't, but hold on a second.
So has anybody on this call seen the clip? There was a clip that I caught today that was like 20 something minutes, maybe like 22 minutes. I only got to see 10, but it was with Tucker and Epstein's brother.
No.
Okay, so I don't know why I was not able to find it after I watched that 10 minutes, but I couldn't find it later when I was trying to tell Hush about it. And he was just basically like, from the first time he heard about it, he said that he heard that his brother killed himself on CNN, like on his television. That's how he found out his brother died. And he believed it was a suicide because that was like the first thing he heard. And now he's 100% convinced that it was another inmate in the prison.
And did he have any like evidence or a good reason to think that?
He had several actually, like because of the way that the cameras were positioned and there was nobody looking at them, and there's no like they're not getting any reports back about like, okay, so basically his point was that somebody in the jail killed him, and that all the cell doors were unlocked that night for no reason, and they can't get information about who was like in the who the inmates were or anything like that. I mean, it seemed like he had some like really valid comments, and also he said that it was officially claimed to be a suicide, and the person, I don't know if it was a coroner or what her title is, but she said that it was a suicide based on the fact that he had previously attempted suicide, which was something that was a false narrative that was just produced by the media. Like, he had actually never attempted suicide previously, and he was supposed to be up for like a bail option in like 5 days or something like that. And if there was a chance that he could have gotten bailed, and it seemed like there was, he would certainly stick around for that. But like, it's like if he was never suicidal is basically the premises of his brother's position. And if he had gotten bail, obviously he'd be fine. But maybe if he had not gotten bail, he might have been suicidal, but like there's no reason he would have cut himself out at that point. And somebody else, I think, looked at his body afterwards and said that it did not look like a suicide. It looked like he was murdered.
But did it look like it was really him? Because, when I see the hashtag Epstein didn't kill himself, I think, yeah, because they faked his death and he's still alive. I don't believe he was murdered
I'm
or
with you,
suicided.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's probably still alive either way, or not. If not, then it was like when Hesher and I were talking about, it was deep state that got him. It wasn't just some random inmate in the jail.
Yeah, murdered by someone or in witness protection. It's probably one of those two over anything else. That's why I'm a little like sus of his brother coming out and pushing the idea that I'll have to watch it. I don't know. I'm not.
That's why I'm doubling down on my theory, because it's like, let everybody think that he was murdered as long as they think it was him that they were looking at, the dead body. They don't care.
It's always been the alternative theory that
it's
everybody
the third
gravitates to.
thing.
Yeah. So therefore it is suspect because that's set in place on purpose many times. All right, look.
Yeah, prison is dangerous. So
remember his cellmate?
What's that?
Remember his cellmate? I just
it was like a New York former corrupt New York cop serial killer or something like that.
Yeah, I just put a link in there. He was just sentenced to, well, this is from it's from last summer. So he's an ex-cop, former prison cellmate of Jeff Stein McCaffrey, sentenced to life in prison for murder of 4 men. He was like a cop / enforcer. They said he was part-time mob enforcer or something. That's what they said. And I'll never forget the picture that they published right after his demise when they showed his cellmate, and he was there was a picture of him. And he was a roided out, like 6'5", obvious psycho.
I remember
They
that.
put in his, yeah. So I think this is the guy. He looks a lot more normal there than he did in that picture at the time.
Yeah. Yep,
See if I can find
that's the one right there. Nicholas Tartgloin. I don't know how to pronounce that name. But yeah, he looks much more normal in that picture than the other one we saw him in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dirty cop. I think he had mob ties.
Mm-hmm.
They said he was doing hits or something.
Yeah, it was.
on the-
I saw him referred to as a serial killer, so I assume that would work. Either way, right?
Plus, don't forget that Epstein was. He wasn't like locked in the cell 23 hours a day. His meetings. Remember when it came out that his meetings with his lawyers resulted in him getting leave from the jail, and it wasn't just the first time he was convicted. It was this time. He had, he was able to come and go sort of at will.
Mm-hmm.
So they clocked his time. It was like, oh no, he's at lunch right now at Panera on Fifth Avenue. He'll be back in 3 hours, even though officially he's in lockup, which was odd.
All right, clarification here from Creative Accidents, I believe. Share this tab. It looks like Ye's upcoming album has leaked, and the organizers behind the leak say all proceeds from the leaks will be donated to the HCost Memorial Museum. So it's not Kanye that is donating money. It's people that stole his work before his work officially dropped. So that's
and if that is true, then doesn't that kind of validate his some of his
does.
points?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it absolutely does.
That's the same situation as remember when Brando went on that talk show and was like Hollywood is run by the the people.
Yep.
And then they said like Brando has been banned, he can't work, and then he had to go back on and apologize. And as soon as he did that, he was free to work. He's free to work again.
Mm-hmm. Right. Ye's not going to be free to work again. He's not going to be free to see his kids. It doesn't look like. Let's see. It's even up on if you want to, if anyone wants to read more about that, it's up on this website. What is that? hotnewhiphop.com. Entire Kanye West album just leaked. Well, wait, is this older? No. Social media was in a frenzy on Sunday evening, May 18, as Ye's entire album leaked on Discords. The album would hit social media shortly after, with fans spreading it like wildfire. Ye's been working on new music since late 2024. The leaks include the entire World War III album. Ye's leak included interesting titles like Diddy Free, Dirty Magazines, and Free My Kids. The titles relate to the mogul's latest controversies. Yeah, okay, well, yeah. I'll leave that one there for now, but yeah, that's all been very interesting. These are strange times, man. I who would have thunk that Ye would be like such an interesting cultural benchmark when it comes to this topic, where we're at right now.
And Besties with Nick Fuentes, and like the video directed by Sneeko.
Yeah.
The music produced in that Matrix like dungeon along with the Tates.
Yep.
What's up with Sneeko? What got Sneeko with Kanye? Like, what happened there?
I have no idea, dude. I do not know. Yeah, here we go. All right, here's the let me share this one, share this tab. This is the there he is. There's the cellmate guy. Crazy. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think we're supposed to think he was murdered and that he's wasn't. I don't know. Maybe he was. That'd be a perfect guy to do it.
Didn't they leak a drone picture? Did you guys saw that drone picture that came out like a few months ago?
Yeah, overhead drone shot of the dude, like bearing a striking resemblance to Jeff Stein on the island.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's been around for a while though, hadn't it? I saw that like.
I think it came like yeah.
The thing I was most disappointed with all that was that Jimmy Buffett was like the number 2 guy on the attendance list.
Oh man,
like he was there like thousands of times. He was the main performer. I mean, it makes sense that they would get him to be the guy like playing music at the
They're like,
island.
we need the Margaritaville guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the lyrics to the songs, like there's a different perspective now on the like Cheeseburger in Paradise, the song,
dude,
doesn't make sense, on the surface. So if you want to,
the original title I hear was Pizza in Paradise. I'm just kidding.
Big kosher pickle,
hot dogs on the beach. Oh man. All right. Well, let's see here. Let me get back to this one. Somehow we got off track there, but this was the third or second clip I had of, and this one's been going around. Luke Radowski reposted it on his X, but Bongino then versus Bongino now.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this. Catherine Rumler, I want you, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. Outside of a few entrepreneurial media outlets saying, hey, this is a big deal.
He killed himself. You want me to get, I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh boy, that changed quickly. I mean, what do you think he learned? What do you think he could have possibly learned? Like he's so sure that this guy committed suicide, but the guy's family isn't sure. You know what I mean? Like if they're so sure of it, just prove it to the public. If they care that the public is divided about it and making up theories and it's making society shakier than it should be, why not just prove it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what it is that like 90% of Trump base are not gonna freaking buy that he killed himself. Let's put it this way, right? So out of the bat, you're like 90% of the people are not gonna trust you. So why don't you come and show us the evidence? Like, prove to us.
Right.
Release the damn files. Like, prove to us. That it's really interesting in that I don't know who posted that Sean interview with Tucker. And here is a very good question. Like, how did they charge him for sex trafficking if they did not like arrest any of the guys that he was trafficking to, right? Any of his clients, right? So which is a valid point. Like what charges are they even were bringing against him if nothing is being brought against the people who was like his clients, his client list?
Yeah. And why did they not search all of his properties? And why did they not do any charges that were related to his financial dealings? Like there's so many other vectors that would be so easily gone after if they truly wanted to bring someone like that to justice. But much like Diddy, right? Go ahead, Spore. I think it's going to be the same with Diddy probably because these guys are assets to powerful people.
Well, yeah. I mean that's the I think the huge question here is like, why is there not being any like sort of investigation and release of public knowledge? This is so weird. Like, I don't know. Like back in like the day, it's like if you got in a car accident, like it seemed like cops would look at like the streaks on the road and shit. you know, like see which direction you were coming in, like, you know, look at evidence.
Yeah, you'd think they would do something like that with a guy like this if everything was above board, but clearly it's not. I mean, we know it's not. It's pretty obvious. We've got
Seems
books.
well, all that's protected, under the veneer of trying to prevent violence, in the name of the thing that we were just covering, right? With the assassination of the two people. I mean, that's a convenient thing, but it's mentioned all the time, everywhere, officially, and in every media outlet. It always comes down to, the official statement, the slogan of the powers that be is that we abhor anti S word violence, and so that gives them a reason to not release anything because they think that it would result in that, or that's what they say. And I agree with, I agree with you guys that the best way to handle this, in an honest system, obviously, would be to expose everything and just leave it to the public to decide. I mean, just put everything in the sunlight, unredacted. But that's the people involved in the thing. The guy getting him his first job at Dalton School is, was that Barr? Was that Bill Barr's dad?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So when the ex attorney general's dad is the very guy who gets you started in the thing, right? And everyone involved is lawyered up and has all this stuff, then it seems like a closed system. And they protect themselves with stuff like with the Diddy thing going on. It's like all the concentration is on the content of the videotape that they published, and by the way, doctored. Apparently, CNN, doctored the order of the videotape, which affects the evidence with Cassie and Diddy. So it all comes down to that, rather than the thing that he was doing in the mansions itself, right? The alleged, mob style Epstein blackmail operation. I mean, being raided by DHS at the beginning of the thing while the election is happening alone seems to call for people to be like, oh, this isn't just like a guy, a billionaire guy in the music industry who is treating people badly, but everyone concentrates on the baby oil and the salacious stuff because it's a diversion from the actual meat of the thing, which is like where are all the tapes? Where's the compromise?
Right. And what was the totality of that ring? What else was going on there? We're gonna get the same kind of thing with the Diddy case. I guarantee it. Spore, I know you got to get out of here. It's getting late. Spore, thanks for being here tonight. Appreciated you dropping into the boiler room and warming up the halls of the Social Reject Club with us.
Thanks for having me, and I hope to be back on video next week. It was really good to hang out with you guys, and I don't know, I guess I'm feeling like slightly more interested in the news now that I get to talk to you guys about it before going to sleep.
All right. Right on. Well, we'll talk to you soon, Spore. Thank you once again. There she goes. Lovely Spore punching out of the boiler room. Ruckus, what are you doing to us here? Look at this. He's got the oil out and everything. I am not hearing you for
Sorry,
some
that's actually a graphic that I had made for a meme. I don't have the meme picture, but I put it on my X. But I made that picture, and then I did one of those fake breaking news story things, and I forget what the clever headline, breaking fake headline was, but it looked like it was one of those, the ones. It was one of those breaking news memes, but I already forgot what it was. But I had the picture, and I had it handy, so I thought I'd pop it up when you guys mentioned the good old baby oil.
That's a good
Holy
one.
moly, Epstein, Diddy. I mean, gee, it's almost like these things have something in common. How bizarre is that? Weird,
right? Well, as Suge Knight's been making a lot of noise too, and I believe it was Suge Knight. Let's see here. What do we got? That guy podcasts from prison. Is that true? I'm like just learning all this
Suge
stuff.
Knight?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be the least bit surprised.
Yeah, I guess that's a thing.
It's
Like
weekly.
like podcasts from jail, like they do their phone call while somebody podcasts it, I guess.
Like everybody's podcasting these days. Just
Yeah.
ask the CIA. Oh, sorry, that's twice.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, let's see here. All right, I haven't watched this clip yet, but it might be pertinent here. Let's see what's going on. This was reposted by MJ Truth Ultra on X. Let's give it a watch here. See if there's anything interesting.
Opinion or knowledge, how long was he an informant?
I think probably since the 90s.
Wow.
We had a conversation before, and if look at the things he was able to do. You were able to do all these things, nothing happened. His friend, one of his partners, they got convicted for selling drugs for the company. Nothing never happened to him. And he got Obama to give him a pardon with no problem at all. I can go to Obama and say, hey, my childhood friend is in prison for life, let him go. It would never happen.
That's for sure. And that did happen with
We
Puffy,
wouldn't be having. Yeah. 1,000%.
You think Obama had anything to do with any of these parties that he had?
Absolutely.
Wow.
You got presidents, you got preachers. T.D. Jakes is one of the biggest black preachers around that everybody loves. Everybody in prison, if they try to get the word of religion, they're not going to the chapel somewhere. They're turning to watch T.D. Jakes. He had to resign from his whole community.
That's right.
You talking about the top of the top.
Unbelievable.
There you go. Suge Knight says Diddy's been a Fed asset since the 90s. So that's
And he said something about Obama, but I'm sure it wasn't important.
Oh yeah, couldn't be very important. I wonder if this is true also. Let me throw this one on the screen. It just sounded too crazy. I figured Dom Lucerie was pulling my leg a little much or something like that on X, but I don't know. After that, I gotta wonder. Dom said, breaking. Diddy party prosecutors just revealed images of President Obama-shaped ecstasy pills that was in Diddy's possession. This is way too freaky. It is way too freaky. Is this for real? I don't know. I don't have all day to watch Diddy's.
That seems for real. That seems like something that would be so
right?
weird that it would be real.
Oh my God. Like just the amount of stuff that we've gone through tonight. Like, could you imagine how much time it would take to like properly source and properly, like do what it takes to really understand all these headlines and all these things going on right now? I mean, it's just plaid speed. It's ludicrous speed. Why wouldn't they?
It seems real because I know that part of the case is, the substances, that were part of the parties. That's like total, that's just like part of it, part of the testimony. And I heard years ago that there's a house musician, DJ Felix the House Cat, from Chicago, and he put out a single with Diddy, which was very weird when they put it out. But then I heard this story of a musician who was at one of the parties, and he like went down into the sub levels of the house at the after party, and he walked into this room, and he said that Diddy was there. Like it was all dudes like in Roman togas, like in sort of a spa, and Felix the House Cat was there, and they were, lots of knocking boots was starting to occur or whatever. But it was so weird when it came out. That was like 2011 or something. And part of that story was like, the bowls of ecstasy going around at the after party. I mean, I guess that's par for the course for, a Diddy White party with Farnsworth Bentley and, like Leo in attendance. But even that stuff, like with the A-list celebrities, it's like, even that to me seems like a diversion with this stuff because that becomes the magnet. I think Usher took the stand today or yesterday, and I guess, testified. I don't know what he said, but I think he, said some stuff about when he got started in the thing, and he was in tears. But again, that also, it's like, yeah, but you were in this thing, and that sucks, and that sucks that that happened to you. But then what happened in all the time since then? Like, how did then then you got Bieber in, and then the cycle continues. Where were all these people? If like Suge Knight. Suge Knight knew about all this stuff. You got the producer all up in the videos, the whole East Coast, West Coast, the whole beef thing. Seems to play a part in this whole thing. Why is Diddy this multi-millionaire and then billionaire entrepreneur guy when everything he seemed to touch eventually failed? Remember the school? He created the school like in Harlem. The stuff about that school alone and what happened with that is enough to get rid of this guy. So how does he have all this power and money and stuff when he doesn't make anything? He produced a Biggie album. He had a label, but that's not billions. What's he doing? Sean John? I mean, that's been gone. So where's all the money and where's all the power come from with all this stuff? Well, I guess we know, but I mean.
Yeah.
Will that be exposed?
Yeah, exactly, dude. I don't know. These narratives around some of these characters, they feel very familiar, Diddy, Epstein. Check this one out. Okay. Thanks, Burnin' Beard, dropping us some context here. Sorry, I'm having a hard time keeping up with the chats tonight. But I'm trying to catch up here. Out of good old dreaded HuffPo, my goodness, look at this relic. This absolute relic that Burnin' Beard pulled up for us. I love it. Okay. HuffPo, wow. Crazy HuffPo story, right? Like that was actually a sort of grassroots thing that just ended up having such a huge audience that it became marketable, and someone came up and bought it. They didn't buy it because it was awesome or anything like that. They bought it. Big media agency bought HuffPost because it had a massive audience, and that was sort of like one of the forefront runners of like one of the last. I mean, even though it was Ariana Huffington's or whatever, it was still like something that grew itself into a giant audience, and then was purchased by a big media giant, and then used to ruthlessly propagandize to us for years as though we were too stupid to know what they were
That
doing.
was the first question taken in the press conference when Obama became president. I'll never forget that. First question was Huffington Post. No, nobody ever heard of it. It was brand new.
Yep. Right? It's like Daily Wire showing up at in the Trump 47 room or something like that to some people, but actually more organic. Anyways, Obama ecstasy pills found at South Texas traffic stop. Okay, so boom, there you go. There is a history of these being an actual street drug floating around in the country. So why would Diddy not have them at his freak offs? That was a good dig and find on the internet there, Burnin'. What? Oh man, yeah. 15-year-old link, crazy. Love it. All right, well, let's see here. So, what else? Musk called out Gates, and Gates ties to Epstein too. What is this? Did you guys see this?
I
See
heard
this,
that
Infidel?
wasn't one of them complaining about the never mind, go ahead. Sorry, I lost it.
Infidel, did you see this? Mystical Pharaoh, did you see this?
I have not actually. I'm interested to see it.
All right.
They asked Elon a question that had something to do with the kids, and his response was basically like, Bill, Gil Bates sucks. How can he have a statement relating to the benefit or the welfare of kids when wasn't he on the list and good friends with Jeff Stein?
There you go.
And then I think the reporter proceeded to say, well, he says he regrets that. He says that was in his past.
That's regrettable. Okay.
I do want to ask you about US aid and the comments that Bill Gates made the other day, which, and I know that you called him.
Yeah, he's usually
I know you've said that already. I
That's terrible.
wondered,
Also,
and I'm just
who does Bill Gates think he is to make comments about the welfare of children, given that he frequented Jeffrey Epstein?
okay. Well, he said he regrets those, and he spent a lot of his own money on philanthropy around the world over the years. My question to you is: have you looked at the data to check if he might be right that the cuts to USAID might cost millions of lives?
Yes. I'd like him to show us any evidence whatsoever that is.
All right.
Well, like what philanthropy is he doing around? Like all his nonprofits are actually making profit from all the vaccines that he's pushing for around the freaking world. Like this is a scam, my friend. This is not.
Yeah, his philanthropy is straight up out of the Rockefeller book.
Yeah.
Right. Evil, twisted globalist needs to revamp his image. So, he's got a PR problem. So, but hey, I mean that she exonerated him. He says he regrets it. He does.
Said I regret it.
That's what the reporter said, that she spoke for Gil Bates. He says he regrets it. That's not what
Oh,
Melinda says.
Bill Gates. Yeah.
Yeah, nice try there. That was, it sounded almost slick to try to skirt around that one, but that was pretty bad. I mean, but still though, it's like surface level. It's just like, okay, Elon Musk, where were you with these little, truth bombs, when you knew all this stuff a long time ago, dude. And it's well stated and it's appreciated and I agree with it, but at the same time, like when I listen to like our friend Johnny Vedmore talk about Elon, he may be just 1 or 2 degrees of separation from Epstein too. So there's that, and that's something that's not just an open secret on the internet, like the Bill Gates thing. Like that is just basically beyond whatever comes after being an open secret. That's what that is. Everybody freaking knows.
He is in a photo with them. Remember, they're in the background at a globalist elite party. It seems like Elon is part of that system that he's talking about. I mean, it seems, if Alex is right, and Obama grew up raised by the Carnegie Endowment at the CIA school or whatever, it seems that that's the same thing that Elon had. I know Johnny and people have talked about this, but my friend David Patrick Harry has talked about it. His research into Elon's upbringing in the globalist. I don't even know what you call that. All these guys like going to CIA boarding schools. And Elon is part of that with his mother's ties and his father's ties. And it seems like he's just another cog in this thing that's part of it. And who knows, maybe we should think the best. Maybe he's been watching Boiler Room and he got based and now he's on the trail, but I don't know.
Yeah. Always got to leave room for that. Let's see here. Creative Accidents sent me this one. Social media influencer Josh Ostrowski says he witnessed Diddy hooking up with DJ Felix the House Cat at a party in Miami years ago. Says he told the story before, but Diddy's team threatened him to say he was joking. That's interesting. That might be worth. Oops. Oh, dang. I lost the browser connection. Never mind. I'm going to link that on the show post for everybody because when my thing says I lost the browser connection, then I have to restart all those tabs.
You remember the clip of Diddy on Ellen?
Which one? Remind me.
There's a clip of him on the Ellen show, and he's like, I've got this T-shirt. I brought it for you as a gift. And then under his breath, he says something to her like, remember you left this at my house?
Oh.
You didn't. There's something about a tape. It's live. It's like on television.
No,
it's kind of under his breath. He's like handing her the shirt, and he's like, you give me the tape. Give me the tape.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. Or I've forgotten it amongst all the other creepy links.
The Mandela effect.
Yeah. Right. All right, I seem to have lost all my tabs, my links over there, so that sucks. But let's see if I do a share screen again, if all is well over here. This is one I'm curious about. If any of you out there watching want to drop the link to this in one of the chats, or what the cluck? I did not go any further than the headline level with this. This actually pisses me off. If it's true, I don't want to know, but I suppose we should all verify it on it was just with everybody's health and informed consent in mind. Just curious, asking for friends that shop at Trader Joe's. Is this a meme? Is this real? Does somebody from Trader Joe's want to speak to this? Here's the words on the image. Trader Joe's organic chicken is vaccinated with mRNA bird flu vaccines, confirmed via email with the company. Curious if any community notes want to come up on that. Would like to know. Yeah, we're asking for all our friends. So
I'm gonna have to look up the full definition, working definition, at least until they changed it, apparently, of what it means for something to be organic.
That's what I was just looking right now.
Yeah,
is actually
Because it
vaccination.
probably doesn't fall in that category. They probably don't even have to disclose it, which is why somebody had to hunt it down. I bet you this goes on in lots of other instances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a moving target. They seem to change the definition of it like all the time, or add and subtract things from it, like some kind of waiver with bullet points on it. I suppose they just add things like experimental mRNA. I don't know.
Wait, zoom in on that word organic. What's that? A little registered trademark belongs to Bill Gates. What the F?
Right. Yep. Oh, okay. You found it, huh? Okay, let me see here. Hopefully I
think that's it.
Video tabs will work. Share that tab. And we are in. All right, cool. Let's check it out. Is Diddy on Ellen? Oh my god.
I think this is right.
Is it Diddy today? Because sometimes you're Puffy and sometimes you're Diddy. Or sometimes you're Daddy. What are you today?
I'm so confused today with it. As long as you say it in a nice way.
All right.
Just all right.
Yeah. Diddy.
This right here is the new Ciroc mango. That was just a tacky product placement.
That's all right.
It's all right, but I needed a drink.
Yep.
And here's to us.
Yeah. All right. What do you have there? What's that?
Oh, no, something I brought for Portia.
She's not here.
Yeah, this is it.
No, but you was going to give it to her as a gift.
All right. Then I'll say it's mine.
Yeah.
Okay. That's sweet. Well, what about for me? Oh, look at that. That's so sweet. Thank you. How come it's for Portia and not me?
Because you're going to have her wear it. And,
All right.
Yo, Ellen, we go so far back. You don't tell these people how far back we go.
I know, but I wear T-shirts. I don't know what that means. Anyway, all right. Let's.
I mean,
you hold that.
Okay.
All right.
I keep this. Take two of the joke work.
No, it's
I
okay.
don't want no problems.
No, it's okay.
No, hold on. Hey, so cheers. Hey. Ellen, I heard you were sick, and look what I got you.
You
Your
got me.
boy. So whenever you get sick, you can have this.
Oh, thank you so much. That's sweet. I probably won't wear it, but Portia would.
This is the clip, and it's kind of long, and I must have seen a clip.
So this
Yeah,
seems
I couldn't
like
hear what he said, but he did say something, and he's
he-
nervous this whole time.
Yeah, and I scanned through the transcript to make sure it was the right clip, and I think it's later on, but it is weird, like his whole demeanor, right? Like, here's the thing. Don't you remember this? And then he goes on to say another thing under his breath later on. Somebody in the chat remembers this one.
Yeah.
And he says, I remember him saying something like, do you remember when you forgot this? Or something about a tape. There's something about a tape in this that was weird.
Okay. All right. Yeah, dude. You can kind of see. It looks like it's not going his way, and like he wants to do multiple takes on this or something like that. That's weird, man. Okay.
Well, also, look at the background set. I mean,
yeah,
they're on the island.
Yeah, it looks exactly like it. That's nutty. It's the same light blue and white.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, seriously.
Don't
All right.
take Obama-shaped ecstasy pills, especially at a Diddy party, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we'll link that on the show page so you folks out there can go through it with a fine-tooth comb. Hey, almost a pun there, Sean Diddy Combs. But no, there's a full transcript also, so you can just click the transcript if you don't want to sit through it. But I don't know if some of those gestures and whispers would be caught in the transcript the same way.
Comb the desert. Man, we ain't found shit.
It's another Spaceball reference.
Yeah, we got a lot of Spaceballs going on tonight. I wonder if I still have my Spaceballs sound on my soundboard. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not. All right, let's see. So, yeah, Trader Joe's. We want to know what's up. Diddy. We want to know what's going to happen.
It's to change their name to Trader Joe's.
Yeah,
huh?
Traitors. Exactly. What else did we forget? Oh, Ruckus. Let's show the Oh, where did I put that? I want to show the. Where is it? The Veo 3. What do you got?
So you're gonna finally reveal that we're not even real?
So before
Shit, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, go ahead.
Before we go away from so actually, organic practices in the U.S. allows for the use of vaccines, so they are not banned.
But
From
there you go.
use with organic
knew it.
chicken. However, I don't know about the mRNA one. Like if actually Trader Joe is using it or not, but organic chicken can have organic stocks in US can have vaccines.
All right, that does not surprise me. And then the question gets a little more murky. It's behind some gray lines because it's like they changed the definition of the word vaccine itself in 2020 or 2021 to include this new technology that we're talking about. So
bingo.
When you change the definition over here and the policies over here, wouldn't have overlapped with it before the definition had been changed, that, you see what I'm getting at here. All of a sudden it's like, is it or isn't it? And it's hard. It's very bold of them, I would say, to have changed the definition when it's still something that is under emergency authorization use, at least as far as going into people. So I don't know where they stand with it going into animals or why that should be something that planet Earth is allowing without more information. But here we are, maybe, but we still need to figure that out. But I appreciate you finding that, Pharaoh, because I kind of had a feeling that's what you'd say when you looked at it.
So winner, mutant chicken dinner.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, and don't let's not forget what they were doing out in the UK. Not that long ago, they got the Arlo milk or whatever the hell it's called, right? Where they're giving this shit to the cows, and people are like, "Oh, we had no idea you were putting that crap in the cows." It's like another Bill Gates vaccine. Oh shoot, we're on YouTube. It's okay. That's okay to say that word now. Isn't that cool?
We're in a new Overton window, man.
Right, make sure you take 23 of them in the next 24 hours. Doctors recommend it. I don't know. I don't recommend it because I'm not a doctor. So you do you. But I wouldn't.
Yeah, I want to know more about that. I'm sorry I didn't come at you with more solid information on that one. All I came with was like meme level stuff, but it was enough to turn me off and say, "You know what? This sucks."
No, I'm guessing that that's probably accurate. And what Pharaoh just looked up, yeah. I mean, they can get away with this because when you look at that sticker, or at the food in your grocery store, what makes it organic is this has been authorized, considered, labeled as organic from some potentially infallible group, because maybe there's some compromise on them, as it were.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, there is a manifesto for that shooter. Sorry, I'm jumping into things.
No, that's all right. We're jumping around a lot tonight. That's okay. We're just filling in little holes here and there. Yeah. What'd you hear about it? I kind of saw it. And it was
I haven't read it, but apparently there is some kind of manifesto out there. So
Just such. They're just asking us to be skeptical about this. They're asking you to be skeptical about this, and I'll tell you why. If this was a real event, or if it was let me put it this way: if this was an event that was not being used to politicize you and propagandize you, and it was being treated like an actual crime, you wouldn't be seeing all these weird details. You wouldn't be seeing politicians coming out and making claims and statements about potential policies and stuff like that. You just wouldn't see any of this. None of this is what you see when an actual crime happens. I'm sorry. And especially when you see crap like manifestos, you see breadcrumb trails of name changes and affiliation changes. And I'm sorry. There's just too many. I don't have time to go through and list all the red flags associated with this thing so far. Not
The
saying
title
nobody.
of the manifesto is apparently, quote, escalate for Gaza, comma, bring the war home. It states that nonviolent protests against that country's actions in Gaza have been insufficient, and states that the, quote, perpetrators and abettors of G-side have forfeited their humanity, end quote. It also praises Aaron Bushnell, the 25-year-old active duty U.S. airman who died after setting himself on fire.
Yep.
I'm with Hesher on this one. I don't think we should be platforming this right now or giving it any more
Yeah,
second of attention. We recognize it for what it is immediately. It's a huge effing psyop, and I'm sure there's plenty of other things to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that festo up there on X,
Yeah,
and
it feels. It just smells. It's whole
yeah,
thing
dude,
smells rotten, dude.
Yep. There's it's sketchy in every single way, in every single attribute you can think of that something would be sketchy like this could be sketchy. It checks almost every single box, and that's just with.
I wouldn't mind feeding it to AI, the manifesto, and seeing if. Do you think AI wrote this? Because just saying.
Right? We're starting to
Hey, speaking of
question that.
AI, there's a lot of things to question these days, right, Hesher?
Yes, I'm trying to. I had this tab I had to emergency close a minute ago, and it has this video on there I wanted to share, and it's from this article here. I'll just put the article on screen, and maybe I'll find the link while we're on it there. But did you happen to see the videos? There's a video associated with this, Ruckus. Do you see any of the
There's
samples?
so many. I was looking for a good one, but there's a good, decent example. There's two of them in this one. There's one that links to a Reddit thread, and then there's another one embedded right in this article. But Google did this big thing. They had this event. It might even say in the article what event it was that they revealed this, and they played like this demo reel showing all these clips that allegedly, according to them, are all AI creations, complete. Let me back up. This is all created through text prompts. So a simple text prompt gets these movie quality with the action, with the lighting, with all of it, and the voices and the singing and everything. And it appears like it pretty much nails it. I mean, there's some clips I saw that I was like, you can tell that's fake, but there's a lot of them where you can't, especially when they do things like what's exampled in this thing is, for one instance, they're recreating an entire, what you're looking at, you think you're watching a human being playing a video game like Fortnite and reacting, and it looks effing real. No, that was all created by just a text prompt. There's another one that's linked in here through the Reddit thread, I think, if it was Reddit or whatever, Hesher, where it's like, it looks, yeah, that one. Oh my God, dude. It looks like they're at like those videos on YouTube and the people are at the convention and they're interviewing people. Yeah, this is all AI from a text prompt. Watch this shit. This is crazy.
Car show. Let's see some opinions. I mean, man, the acceleration is crazy. You look far, step on the pedal, and you are there.
I feel safe with him in an SUV, and it seems to be like the right type of car for him.
I think the range is only going to get better. Sorry.
We don't want to drive gas cars anymore.
Yeah, no more gas cars.
You can see I'm kind of a misfit here, but don't tell anyone.
I've just bought an electric car.
I think it's really great for families and for little babies with all the safety features that these SUVs have.
But what you're really seeing is that technology is going to be very, very important in terms of how we go forward.
It was great to come to the conference because my husband loves cars.
I think I have to buy an EV now. I love my muscle cars, but
I try to stay as healthy as I can so I can make it to the next car show.
All right, we get the picture. So none of this is real, is what you're
Correct.
telling me.
And I
Yeah.
think that's a terrific demo of it because of all of the things happening, all the different people, all the different characters. And this was all created off of a text prompt.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's the
But is
craziest part.
that real, or is the psyop that it's said to be one thing, but
That's where I'm on the fence about it. I'm glad you
because
brought
this looks
that up.
mixed. Like the kind of Indian interviewer looked like she was AI, but then like the weird laughing seems to be like AI, but then the lady with the weird noise gate, that seemed just real. And is the AI part that they're just like, is that just the script they're reading?
I don't know. Here, check this one out
We're
too.
led to believe that it's just a prompt, like that as something is, and I'm not kidding, it's something as simple as create however long reel that was of a people, a group of people attending or interviewers. There's not a lot involved in that, and the AI imagined all of those things. Like, look, if you go back to the one with the Fortnite example, you'll see the video and then you'll see the prompt that they used, and you're like, wait a minute, it's crazy.
Yeah, here, check this one out too.
Is there no audio on this one?
I don't know, man.
Are
Like,
you guys hearing that one? Is there no audio for that?
No, there is no
Sorry,
audio.
but yeah, I don't know either.
All right. Yeah, I keep getting this StreamYard's lost connection to audio thing pop up. I don't know what I did to deserve that tonight, but I keep losing it. And when I can't fix it without closing the browser, it's a whole thing. But I'll let it play in the background while we chat about it, because see, like here you can see here they're saying they're typing the prompt in, and that's what that channel Void Stomper I showed you guys a couple weeks back. I can't remember if you're here or not, but it's video is just like whacked out, but it's 100% AI, and it comes from prompts like this.
Is it Veo3.ai, right? That's
This one's
right?
the Google product, the Veo 3.
The model is called Flow, I think.
Yeah, on Flow.
It's the Google connection that kind of has me thrown. Because have you ever tried to use Google's GPT, their assistant?
Yeah. No, I have not.
I tried to use it.
Yeah, Gemini.
Yeah, I tried to use it like a couple days ago, and it was still on the level of, remember when GPT like still had 14 fingers on each hand.
Yeah,
and they had to solve that problem, and like it couldn't do text across the screen, which is that's like GPT 1.0 now. So it seems odd that they're the ones that have this, I guess. I mean,
I don't know, man. I've heard good things about Gemini, but I haven't used it, so I can't.
I've been messing with the Gemini on my phone, and it's good for not necessarily doing the images, but if you needed to do all the things that you would have done with Google in the past, for instance, to do a Google search and do some research, it's far more convenient and handy this way. It's helped me through a lot of things and design issues with some of this stuff that I've been working on. So I was impressed. I was like, wow, I would have had to go click on all these multiple things, take some notes, copy some code. I got it all in one spot. It was great. It was easy. I was like, perfect. Thank you.
A lot of this stuff kind of to me has the veneer of like, remember when Tesla rolled out the robots a few years ago, and it was like just Grimes in a robot suit, and then like last week they rolled out the actual robot assistant, and it was doing the same dance as Grimes was doing in the video from a few years ago, and then they have the Alphabet dancing DARPA bots or whatever, and then it turned out that whole thing was that the video was just a product that it wasn't the line of robots. It was just creating the video of the robot doing the thing in the video. So then they had to sell it to like Honda. What was the line when like Alphabet to, yeah, it just kind of went down the line until it seems like each company that buys this thing like realizes what they've bought and they're like, we don't have like a line of like robots. It's just the video of the robot. Like it's just a scam, which to me fits into, overarching themes for a lot of this tech stuff, that it has remnants of like the tech bubble, and every bubble that a big chunk of it is just like a scam.
I don't know, man. I mean, the way this is being billed and the way I see some people making reels right now, like, I think this is actually something that, like, if you can afford whatever the monthly fee is for a high end, like Veo 3 or what's that other one we've talked about a few times? They just have a new version out. We talked about it a couple weeks back. I can't remember the name of it, but there's multiple out there. I want to test one. I can't believe it until I'm able to, like, as a consumer, like, test it myself. So I think if I'm able to, I'm gonna grab like a month of Veo 3 or that other one I'm blanking on right now, and just try it. I want to see if it's as good as everything that we're seeing in these promo videos and on like social media reels.
I'm surprised that it hasn't overtaken advertising, completely overtaken it, because I was talking to somebody the other day whose sister is a graphic designer. She does, ads in New York or whatever. And she's like pretty much completely out of the job. Every skill that she had is just totally obsolete now. They can, a 16-year-old can do a prompt and make something like this, and it looks better and has a sheen to it that it would take her weeks to do before. And I'm surprised that they haven't just totally saturated the advertising market with this stuff, like on Boomer TV, because Boomer TV is still stuck on ads with like people with no faces, like in 2020.
Dude, this is the next thing actually, and marketing is using this in marketing is a big thing, but it is actually worth checking out, Hasher, because I think it saves a lot of time, dude. Or it has the potential of.
Yeah, I mean, I want to try it. I guess that's all I can say.
And I think it allow you actually loading clips and parsing through those clips and getting snippets and things like that, or not?
I have no idea, man. I've been afraid to even look and see what they charge people for, like a commercial account on these kind of things, where you can, like, do edit them and post them on your own sites and stuff. But I mean, I'm looking at like the Void Stomper. Void Stomper actually showed his face on his Instagram, came out and said that he was gonna start showing his face more and show people how he does what he does. I guess I should show another example. I'm just gonna pick a random one, so forgive me if it's super creepy. Most of it is, but this is all supposedly created in that same fashion, as far as I can tell, like just from prompts into a AI. Create little dudes like that, or something like this.
So I have not seen. I'm just went to Flow right now, and I'm trying to generate a couple of things, but it seems it does not support audio.
It may not. I don't know. I mean, but
and I looked at actually Veo 3, and it say the model does not support audio.
That's not what their demo said. They said that they're going to have voices and everything, and they were singing. We watched those people talking.
Did they release it? Maybe they didn't release it. Yeah.
They just unveiled it. It's only available for the ultra premium.
Okay.
So if you're using Veo, it's not Veo 3. 3 is the new one, Veo 3.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe that's why.
It's like $250 a month from what I saw. It's crazy.
Tell me if you guys can hear this audio. Let me throw this up here.
They're going to lock us all out of this stuff, by the way. That's why this shit's going to be
you better
pricey.
get in while it's cheap, right? $250 is cheap for a month of this. You guys hear that? All right, cool.
I don't know if I'm on the right path, but I'm trying to find it. I'm questioning searching, and then something shifts, and I'm not trying anymore. I'm just doing. And all of the pieces start falling into place.
It all feels pretty clear in my head. I see these like flashes of possibilities, almost like I'm traveling through dimensions.
I'm looking down at myself and my characters in these different worlds, and it's almost coming to life on their own, even though I know I'm in control of that narrative. It feels like it's almost building upon itself at some point. You know, you could have an infinite amount of endings to your story.
So the work isn't built brick by brick by brick. It blooms like a spontaneous garden. It grows naturally, fully vibrant and complete.
I'm not forcing it. I'm just finding it. And that's when I know I'm in the right place.
All right, boring marketing material, but you know, again, if this is the way we're gonna be,
the female speaker there, narrator, the way she's describing it is that encapsulates this phenomenon. The slang word now is for it is vibe coding, is what it's called. So I've been posting a lot about vibe coding, but the guy who invented it sounded a lot like in his post that he made about it, where everybody stole this idea of vibe coding. Sounds exactly like what that lady was talking about. She's like, I'm just in with the flow, just go with it and just like feel it and just go with it, man. The vibes. It's so, I'm like, what the hell? This is crazy. It's weird. AI slop, dead internet. Here we come.
Mm-hmm.
Full speed ahead.
Indian woman talking about it grows naturally and organically when it's the most synthetic thing that there is, and it's all about the search, right? It's the journey, not the destination. Watch it grow.
Yeah,
that whole video was a narrative itself. Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
yeah. That's the one I posted.
Yeah,
he was in touch with the divine feminine.
Here comes
So
one.
that was her journey.
Yeah, here comes one from Pharaoh. Up there on X by Min Choi. Google Veo 3 realism just broke the internet yesterday. This is 100% AI. 10 wild examples. Oh yeah, this is a good thread. This is the yeah. I'm glad you brought this one.
What's one move with AI that makes haters go crazy every time?
Oh, y'all gotta give them that. This is wild. It's over. We are cooked on that thread. You get me?
What's one?
The whole scene, people walking in the background, the camera looks like everything through the lens looks like a camera would. I don't know, man.
I don't know. She didn't spit on that microphone or anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's see.
That's just it's cheap to me because the actual language and slang already sounds synthetic.
Check this out.
Oh,
yeah,
this is a good one too.
Yeah. Okay. So this is cool because they're giving us the prompt and then showing us the product. So the prompt is a man doing stand-up comedy in a small venue tells a joke. Include the joke in the dialogue. All right. So apparently that is all they typed in. Let's see. Check
the other
it out.
day. And so I went to the zoo the other day and all they had was one dog. It was a Shih Tzu. So I went to
Okay.
AI has got dad joke humor.
Yep. That figures. Create with Google Flow. Visuals, sound design, voice were prompted using Veo 3 text to video. What do we got here?
When we get in there, I want no bullshit. You stay on my 6 at all times.
Got all PG-13 on that one.
Stay sharp. These fuckers are nasty and dangerous. Stay alert. What the hell happened here? Where are the bodies?
The inflection's all weird. I mean, it does feel like weird in AI.
There's something off about it, but I wish Wandering Wolf was with us, because apparently they built this particular model, version 3, with the consultation of actual filmmakers and DPs and everything. So
yeah.
Oh,
Here's
and
the one you were
this is
talking about.
crazy. Yeah.
So the kid, let's see if we have the prompt on this one before I play it. Fortnite gameplay that never happened. That's all they're going to give us on this one. But it's not just the gameplay that didn't happen, it's this person too. Where'd my audio go? Oh, there we go.
Woo! Victory Royale with a pickaxe.
You know why? You know how I know that's fake?
That was the prompt. Victory
You know how I know
Royale
that-
with a pickaxe.
You know how I know that's not authentic is because there weren't hard R's dropped in the first like 5 seconds.
There you
And
go.
there's no Darth Vader swearing at the kids. I don't know if you guys saw that recently.
No.
They put an AI Darth Vader character using James Earl Jones's voice with permission from the family, the estate. And apparently one of these famous streamers, something Juicy Fruit or some weird name like that. It's a chick. She was talking to the Darth Vader thing and she called him a fucker or said the F word, and he repeated it back, and it caused a big ruckus all over the internet, because Fortnite is supposed to be bad language, and it was bad.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of examples of these. I'll put this whole thread on the show page so that you can go through these. There's the car show one. Okay, so this is it. This is the mega thread of examples that's come out here. So that'll be fun. I don't know. I want to try it.
I think that the test with the stuff for the people that are making the stuff, I think the test, like for how far they can go, past the uncanny valley, is to master humor, like puns, humor, jokes, and vocal inflections, and then art. Anything that depicts people in any sort of artistic setting, like the girl singing, they just can't get it. It seems to be like the peak thing. I mean, because they have all of the parameters of what it would be, but it just lacks. You watch it or you listen to it, and it's not human. And I think that the narrative, in the long video that we watched, the narrative continues to be like that. This is the thing. This is real. It's building on itself. There's no way out. This is the future. And that seems to be part of the overriding product and I think it's important, like, to watch, if you have discernment and you watch this stuff, you just go, no, it's just not, it looks cool or whatever, but it's not. Look, I read essays from, young college and late high school students all day long. And I can tell right away, very clearly, when GPT has had any part in the composition right away, because everything is abstract. It's generalized. There's nothing concrete, and it lacks any kind of nuance or feeling. One is that there are no mistakes. Which is a big red flag. And like in this stuff, like when you're watching a live performance of a band, that the mistakes are the things that really come out, and they add nuance to the thing. So I don't know. Stuff creeps me out.
Yeah, it is freaky though that we're like, I think back to when I saw Lawnmower Man in the theater, back in 93 or something like that. And like, that was, to me, it was like, oh my God, that's a digital character. And, it's doing weird, evil stuff. But it was, so max
virtuosity.
Headroom. Yeah, dude. It was so max headroom level, it was just like bit-tastic still, like, it was, top tier, computer special effects for 1993. And here we are, 2025, and like, look at the way we have to, like, we're having to use our, like, all of our intuition to, to realize that, it's getting harder and harder and harder. Like before, you had Lawnmower Man. Folks, if you don't know what Lawnmower Man is, look it up. It's an old movie based on a Stephen King story, and it's like a virtual reality hellscape, basically a person falling into a melding with a computer. And
Jeff Fahey.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan.
Right. But this where we're at now, it's like, okay, let's listen to this with the sound on as expected, because you were talking about art and music and stuff like that. So
It's like Fifth Element, Hunger Games.
Yeah, let's see what the best that they can do is here with something like this.
We're gonna light up the sky.
Oh, drumming sucks. Bad.
I'm not sure I can go on.
What did they do with the money your mama gave you?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's not going to
For
cut
singing
it.
lessons, kids.
But I
It's an
mean,
old joke.
you got to admit it's pretty amazing that like that's what a computer can spit out on a text prompt now. I mean, if this is all as we're being showed here.
That's cool, but
I was
until they
making-
can fix like the self checkout at the grocery store,
Yeah. Could we get the tuna sandwiches to not be $20? I mean,
Right.
Shit.
Listen, I feel where you're coming from, Based, because, like, I mean, the government does have a history, or, I mean, allegedly, I guess it's not necessarily proven, but most of us might have some questions about certain things in the past. And truth be told, the United States, in particular, as well as other countries, have faked things in order to project a certain level of, say, power. For instance, during the space race, who was going to make it to the moon first? We had to make it to the moon before Russia did. So, there's a small, I mean, a very, very tiny amount of the population that believes we never even went to the moon, that we faked that and filmed it inside of a soundstage. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Well, all that aside, you can look this up. Historically speaking, it is known that armies, ours in particular, like back in World War II, were inflating fake tanks, creating the impression that we were larger and put our chest out, like we were trying to project this image of power. And right now we are in a new space race involving AI, and Trump has said so as much. The big concern is we have to beat China, XYZ, right? So I see your point, Based, about, this could just be a fake propaganda push, possibly even to scare us into thinking, oh my God, AI is going to take over and we better line up and get the chip thanks to Elon Musk. Maybe there's some of that going on too. But I was making the case earlier today, you know how we're reviewing these clips and they're like, there's just something off about this. It doesn't look real. It's not very, like, there's no way that, no, it's not. What if they got shit that is freaking real? They've been using it for years and they just don't want us to know it. That's where I'm leaning towards, to be completely honest.
the space race analogy is interesting because, we had this whole thing about getting to the moon first. And meanwhile, like, nobody ever asked, did Russia even want to go to the moon? The whole purpose seemed to be to just, Sputnik and satellites and nukes in space and all this stuff. And, spending billions on an anti-gravity pen, and the Russians are like, well, we have a pencil, so that works fine. And, I think this whole push for industry tied in with the tariffs and all this stuff happening, it's like, well, bringing industry back to the United States on a mass scale, bringing back Bethlehem Steel or something seems to be, if that was ever even the point, it seems like the thing that's replacing that is just the AI monolith itself, which I don't know how much substance there is to it, but until we do anything about like the basic things that run everything, like the FED reserve and the checkout line, they spent all this time making everybody do their own work, right, in a service-based economy where now we are our own servers, and then everything breaks on us. So as good as AI can be, I reached the limit on GPT image creation with 3 images, and then the internet cuts out, and then there's no power in the city. So I guess that's part of the plan, huh?
Maybe
the worker cyborg bots to me are like the most egregious thing, because even if everything gets automated, even if everything is AI and sentient and all this stuff, the basic things that run everything in our daily lives don't seem to. I can't think of a way that they're actually going to affect those things. Anything like with dexterity, like the dudes outside fixing the power lines, you know, or the guy fixing the pipe, or the plumber. I guess that's the final element. Until those things are automated by a plumber bot, which seems to me just very, very far off. Even GPT, and all this stuff is it actually AI? Is it just what do they call it?
A glorified search engine, right?
Here is because again I said that before, because I've been digging into some of those models, and it's basically combination models, right? So you have a layer on top, which is an NLP layer, and I think there is a lot of advancement in this layer right now. I think it's actually what's giving you the impression that AI is great is that initial NLP layer, is that prompt taking the language and responding to you in a manner that makes it seem intelligent. Now, once this NLP layer passed, now there is like basically cascaded layers of like deep learning, right? And what you will find out that those layers past that NLP layer is still not there yet, and there is a lot of limitation from like contextual information. It can be easily swayed, actually. Like, and I tried this many times. Basically, like it comes to you with an answer, and then you try to tell it something to sway it into the direction you want it to go, and it's gonna go there, right? So I agree there is a lot of hype right now that's happening because there is billions of dollars, actually trillions of dollars, going to get poured into this whole AI, right? And there is a big push for it. I don't think it's going to get to the point that everybody's describing, but to your point, Baze, like what will be beneficial actually is reaching to the point of automating actually real life tasks, where I'm sitting here in my house, I can't find like someone to come and cut my grass. I want like a robot to cut my damn grass, right? Right? Or I wanted to help me doing some homestead work, right? I think that'll be useful. But I think
Optimus.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've seen Optimus. I don't know how far it is from doing that. I saw Kim Kardashian laying with him on the beach, which was really very sexy picture.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot of that weird stuff. I don't get it. I just watched a clip of Elon Musk, and he was anticipating, like, I mean, we're talking, he said millions, I forget how many millions, that he was projecting robots are going to be available. Like, he said as early as like this year, and I'm just like, this guy's tripping. But they made like this, he said he wants all manual labor to be replaced by, and he just picked a year at random out of his hat, and you might be shocked to learn that the year he said was 2030. But anyway, how weird is that? Where have we heard that before? Anyone? So yeah, I don't know. There's he's got a lot of high hopes for his Optimus robots. He's going to mass produce them, and they are. These things are. This technology moves incredibly fast, and then when you have like somebody like Elon Musk, who happens to be the world's richest person, I just venture to get, I mean, because he was saying he was making a prediction that there would be this many robots out there. Well, but then he's going to make that prediction come true. And he's like, see, I told you so. I predicted this.
Exactly.
Like, what the hell? No, you didn't. You made it happen, dude. That's a self-fulfilling. It's not a prediction. Get out of here. You're selling us a product, and this is all a marketing scam. But those robots are fairly impressive. But something he said struck me. By the way, Hesher is dealing with something. That's why he's not speaking right now. So the Elon Musk said, so the interviewer was asking him, let me back up. He was saying, how do you anticipate that these robots are going to get trained up to do all of these tasks that the humans do? And he goes, well, look, the robots learn things, obviously. But he says, but if we can get the robots to watch videos, and then he says, like if we just pipe them into watching all these YouTube videos and how to, like all the same ways that we learn as humans, and that's what he said, then yeah, they're golden. And that's what NVIDIA has been doing too. They're now using AI to train the AI, but they're doing everything inside of like this metaverse fake environment before. So they learn how to walk inside the fake world and they're ready to walk in the real world. And they're doing all the tasks, the laundry, the cooking, the cleaning, the mowing of the lawn is in there, Infidel. So, or
was
Pharaoh.
it? Okay.
Yep. So you're in luck. And it's the same robot that will be doing all of these things. And it looks humanoid and it's just weird and creepy. And I
unless
don't
they
know.
formulate a defense mechanism plan against the natural enemy of the cyborg, which is the fented out homeless guy on any city street, it's not going to last because homeless people go absolutely rabid at the sight of a robot. I saw one the other day in a gas station parking lot attack an automated vacuum cleaner, and it was like Desert Storm with one homeless guy and a vacuum cleaner. That was glorious. That was very sweet.
Can we
But
get a new season of bum fights?
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say cheap illegal immigrants. Is there?
It's like bum fights meets battle bots. That's freaking awesome.
what's the one with drone wars? The guy who flies the drones over like the homeless encampments, playing the Skyrim music. You seen that?
No.
Throwing spears at them.
That's great. I have not seen that. I'm on intermittent audio only here. I'm watching the dogs. They've been barking a lot.
Well, they couldn't fix the thing that happened in, there was the tornado in St. Louis recently, and that came down to the person in charge. Their sole responsibility was to press the tornado warning button, right? That sounds the alarm, and they couldn't do it.
You need a robot for that.
Yeah, and then when they tested it, the button didn't work, and they funded it with like $4 million or something to create this button.
$4 million button.
Yeah, and then it didn't work, and then the money's gone. And then locally here in Virginia, they had a water crisis last year. The entire water system shut down, and they finally got it back online. And today they announced everyone is completely, totally fluoridated. They're adding extra fluoride to the system. Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were removing fluoride. What the hell happened?
Oh no, they added more to make up for what was lost.
Oh, well, you gotta protect your teeth, dude. You want to have like a bad teeth? I mean, come on, you gotta make up for the lost.
Well, there's the oversupply, yeah, because as other states are saying, we don't want fluoride here, like Florida.
Dump it into Virginia.
Yeah, there's an overstock, and they got to push it on somebody. So they're like, well, yeah, Virginia, hey, we'll take double, take two, thanks. It's like it's BOGO season, buy one get one, right?
So you mentioned something like about like Neuralink. So that interview again, I'm gonna go back to the interview for a second that you posted of Tucker was Sean. Tucker mentioned in that interview that he has this like connections, right, with this high level AI people. And you've seen that interview, right?
No, I haven't watched the whole.
So anyway,
I watched
So let me explain that piece. So basically, Tucker, Sean was saying that he doesn't believe it's gonna get its potential, and then Tucker was like, "Well, actually, I have a connections with like really high level people into that world of AI, and they were talking about Neuralink." And why they want to push for Neuralink. And basically what they are saying, or what Tucker said, they believe that their only way to combat AI as humans, because it's going to get like, really like crazy advanced, is to have a Neuralink chip. This will be our only way to be able to keep up with AI. And this is why they are pushing for Neuralink.
Yeah, Elon Musk said that, what, freaking 8 years ago, right?
Yeah, like 2018.
I mean, hello, are we starting to recognize there's a story, a narrative being laid here for quite a... It seems like this is a very important piece to whatever their technocratic puzzle is. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Frightens me a little
I did
bit.
not actually hear him say that before.
Oh yeah, no, this has been his big kick. That's why I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked that he is now leading. He wants to compete. Okay, well, actually, this makes perfect sense now.
He said that he wants to use Neuralink to combat AI. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't hear
yeah,
that.
okay. Yeah, that was his big reason for why he was making the Neuralink, right? And then now look at how he feels about AI. He has his ex AI company and he feels in direct competition with Sam Altman. So like and not that long ago, weren't all these people like signing a little document thing that said, hey, we need to put the brakes on, full stop on AI. And now they're like gung ho. Well, why? Wait a minute. So the guy says, I need to make brain chips to protect us from AI. So I'm going to, boy, this reminds me of another scenario. Use your imagination, folks. We're going to make this happen as fast as possible because the end result is a benefit to us. In this case, I'm going to sell a shit ton of brain chips as soon as everybody is, well, we got to get the AI to the AGI as soon as possible so I can make a killing. You know, so it's sort of like some people who have religious beliefs about a certain conflict and what's going to happen in the near future. They want it to happen, hurry up because, you know, second coming, you know, same kind of thing.
Immunize the eschaton. Yeah, it was a can't beat him, join him argument. Right. There's no defense against AI. So we got to get on board and get prepared by doing it because it's the only way that we can defend ourselves against the very thing.
Which it goes back to the point of why the hype, right? Because I think right now they are trying to get anybody believing that AI is just going to take over, is going to replace everybody, which is not true. I don't think that's going to happen. It's going to replace pieces of it, but it's not going to replace humans.
But see, this is like, but they're replacing humans. People are losing jobs. A lot of people are losing a lot of jobs.
Well, because there are a lot of, I hate to say that, but there are jobs that are monotonic that can be replaced. I think this is something else, right?
But okay, listen. All right, then take it outside of the individual persons. Lots of them losing their jobs. This has a significant impact on the economy. And it affects everyone and everything around us. I mean, it's like the bee colony collapse disorder. Like it affects everything. There's a huge ripple effect by this large amount.
But I think the government expanded itself, right, to create this massive body, and now they want us to believe that if we start killing this massive body or cutting it out, that we're gonna fail or it's gonna create this chaos. But like, what was it? Where was it before they expanded? Like the government.
I'm not talking about the government, dude. I'm talking about robots replacing actual workers and advertising agencies and bloggers and TikTok influencers and OnlyFans models. They're all out of a job soon.
Hold on. Let's just. So teachers, I don't think. We've seen actually. We posted that link. I think I posted in one of our Discord chat about that AI teacher. But there are right now research, like I mean, evidence that shows teaching kids with technology is not the right way to do that. So I don't think they'll be able to replace teachers. I think they are going to fail, and which actually is going to have a blowback of like everybody's becoming really stupid, and they're going to affect like one generation maybe, and then we're going to try to reverse that.
It's the same government that warp speeded the you-know-whats, so I don't have a lot of faith in Fidel, or sorry, Mystical.
Yeah, but
they're going to do it anyways. Is my point. I'm not saying that it's good. It's like, oh, we're accepting this. They're going to force it upon us. Right? It's going to be one of these situations again. Ultimately, I believe that there'll be some sort of emergency, and that the AI will be the thing. I mean, they did the Project Stargate. It's practically the same name. It's Warp Speed 2.0. Except what are they warp speeding? They're warp speeding AI and automation and robots to replace humans. Why would they need to do that? Again, I brought this up on my Daily Ruckus thing that I did. Is that, do they know something we don't know? Are they expecting a larger die-off situation? Is the asteroid coming? Is that why they're building the underground? Who the hell knows? I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but they're certainly warp speeding the AI. They want to, something will have to happen that will be foisted upon us, and then that will create a new crisis where we need to then solve that new problem with the AI the chip thing, and then God only knows where it goes from there. I mean, probably they're like, okay, now you're full technocratic credit score. If you disagree, if you say free Palestine, don't worry, we're not going to arrest you. We're just going to turn off your chip. Oh, by the way, when we turn off the chip, we turn off you at the same time.
You guys seen that movie Elysium?
There you go.
Yeah.
Hesher's been talking about this a lot, right?
Yeah, that's I think a pretty accurate depiction of this future in a lot of ways. You know, it's urban hellscape, industrial land, right, where the elites. I don't know if it'll be off world on a floating pentagram with Jodie Foster, but it'll be, you know, there's a class system, a technocratic, you know, transhumanist class system being built, and Brave New World is also about this, right? There's a dichotomy between the two worlds. There's the completely automated AI world with the test tube, you know, classes of people, and then there's the savage world, and the two at some point are going to cross over one another and then vie for supremacy. And as far as teachers go, I think teachers will, you know, will absolutely be replaced in the end. I think part of 2020 was a test case for seeing how far education could go with you know, edgenuity, computerized screen education, and the results on down the line, even immediately, were pretty horrifying. It only resulted in the thing that they foresaw, but they didn't really care about, and it's now happening and people are dealing with, is that kids are in a developing part of your life. The one thing that you need that you don't get through that is human interaction and the ability to recognize faces and social situations. And that's like 90% of the whole point of public education, is training young people to be able to go out in the world and deal with different situations and different people. And I think that all that kind of goes by the wayside in the end with all this stuff, because of course they want to replace. If you can have automated education with kids teaching themselves, that's like recognized as the highest level of education in terms of educational theory. So it seems like that'll come down the lines at some point.
So a lot of people are rejecting this right now. What I'm trying to say, right? That doesn't mean they are not going to try to push it. But what I'm saying is there is a big push, right? Because I am myself looking for, like, my kid, right? Is I'm homeschooling him, right? So I'm discussion with a lot of people and circles where basically people are rejecting use of technology in schools because of the impact of it on kids. And I think that body of people are growing.
That's true.
So that doesn't mean they're not going to try to push it, right? But I think people are going to finally reject it.
That's true.
My
teaching is no tech.
You what?
Any technology, nothing. It's
Yes.
pen and paper.
Yeah.
I see that as the only way to counteract the stuff.
Oh, and a related thing, I remember seeing an article not that long ago about how kids don't even know how to, like, write with pen and paper.
No.
I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Didn't we said that there was an article we saw like a few years back that talks about all Silicon Valley tech execs kids go to like completely like analog schools, like where is no tech. I need to find this article, but back
Which
to
is
the
ironic because it turns out that the no tech schools are the ones that are the most expensive and the most exclusive.
Yeah. Well, really, in public education now, what I heard is, like, what I've seen is everybody gets a tablet, right? Which is ridiculous. And you're spending like freaking day just staring at the damn screen. But back to the point we were saying about the just the AI. So I think there is a hype. I think there is two campaigns happening in the same time. Number one, they need to train the AI, right? For them to train the AI, they have to give your buy-in to start using the AI, right? So that's why, like, I'm limiting even how much information when I interact with GPT or so on, or ChatGPT or any of these guys, because I don't want to be like basically a gear into the machine of training their AI. Then later they are going to come and sell it to us even more expensive, right? So they are using it as free labor right now to train it. So I think for you to buy into that, they have to sell to you how impressive it is for you to use it, right? And keep using it. So that's number one piece. The second one is to push for the other agendas, right? That we were just discussing of either like selling products for us in the future. that will rely on your fear of AI. They have to start from now conditioning you into thinking how it's going to be, right? It's that programming that they have to do step by step. All that aside, that does not deny the fact there are uses of those tools right now that we can use it to speed up things, right? But we have to put the limit of what this looks like and when to disconnect and when it's not, and just not buy into this crazy narrative that they are trying to push for us.
That's fair. I'm not too concerned about it because, yeah, we can always depend on this guy, right? Hopefully. Who knows?
Wasn't that 2029?
Oh, I thought that was the Terminator. I'm
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, it is. Yeah, in the last scene of the film, she rides off, right? No fate. It's 2029.
No fate.
That's right.
Hesh, are you back? Are you with us?
So why did they pick 2030 specifically? I just
well, that's all. I don't know why they picked that year, but
like what is the purpose of that year? Is there any? Because I haven't seen anything that's pointing why 2030 is specific.
I don't know why, but that's
Probably
what
the
the
Rand
UN's been on that thing. But they kept pushing. That was a moving goalpost forever, wasn't it? Wasn't it originally like Agenda 2020, right? And then it was Agenda 2025 or whatever it was. But now it's been Agenda 2030 for quite a while, right?
I think 2025 was the SARS thing. Was SARS? No, the Johns Hopkins. It was one of those papers dealing with it.
Guys, I hate to interrupt, but I gotta call it a show here. I got something I gotta take care of, so we're gonna go ahead and bug on out here early. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Sorry to bug out early on you, but gotta go. That's it for this boiler room. Thanks, Baze. Thanks, Ruckus. Thanks, Mystical Pharaoh. We'll see you guys all again real soon here in the boiler room. All right, we're out. Peace out. We'll see you next time.
Peace, y'all.